We operated like a classical B2B company. We didn't appeal to our customers in an emotional way. And we were also very focused on short-term, the in-market buyers. We needed to take a different approach.
We're the B2B Institute, a LinkedIn think tank. Today, we're chatting with the brand pioneers at SAS. We'll learn how SAS mastered the language of finance and overcame organizational friction to bet big on their first brand campaign. This is SAS's Edge Case.
The major mindset shifts we needed to have within our organization is it wasn't brand versus demand. It's brand and demand. Being able to demonstrate the impact that brand has on demand, how demand can be more effective when it pulls off of brand has been a significant focus for us.
There's a misalignment sometimes with your performance marketing teams, and it really centers around the KPIs that they use. Our objectives are longer-term investment, longer-term revenue gains. There's sometimes shorter-term. We've used a lot of the research that the B2B Institute has provided to help educate both sides of our teams, brand marketing and our performance marketing teams. We've used data to show how folks who are exposed to a brand campaign actually deliver better demand outcomes at the end of the funnel.
It is one big happy funnel family to me. I know that sounds really goofy, but brand and demand work better together. I don't see it as a brand or demand, it's brand and demand. And they have to come together, align KPIs to create that full funnel strategy that's really gonna raise all of the marketing that we're doing, not just the advertising.
The key for us to align our performance marketing and brand teams is around three things: reach, messaging, and branding. With reach, we're looking at that broad audience at the brand level that then delivers at the performance marketing level. For messaging, we're looking to align around those category entry points to ensure that those carry throughout the funnel and it's not a new information at the end of the funnel. And finally, it's branding with our distinctive brand assets, making sure we're instantly recognizable in the market.
The 95-5 rules played a large role in our conversations about how we differentiate strategies and tactics stratified across brand and demand. We really focused on thinking less about frequency, but more about reach. Reaching more future and current category buyers and just bombarding them over and over with the same message, right?
We wanted to make sure that we were hitting buying audiences. We wanted to make sure that we were hitting future users, decision makers, and so broadening our audience gave us scale that we didn't have before. And by again looking at more full funnel strategies, we were able to see increases 3 times what we saw with lead gen form completion rates. And we were able to see our cost per lead go down by 28%, and we were able to see engagement rates increase to 31%.
In brand marketing, a single message is really important. We started re-evolving our messaging to build on some of the information and research and insights we'd received through the LinkedIn B2B Institute's category entry point analysis. Understanding which were the strongest, how we stacked up against our competitors, really helped us get behind that single message and get the company aligned to move forward with that as our brand campaign.
The most important one that we had to focus on was messaging. What we didn't have in the prior version of the campaign was that full arc from brand to demand to engagement. And then we really used the top 5 of our category entry points and brought them to our agency of record and brought it into the creative portfolio.
The distinctive brand asset work really identified for us which of our brand assets were working and which needed to have more work behind them. And in fact, that drove us to select VIA as an important part of our newest brand campaign. So things like our logo, the use of the word VIA, understanding how they interplay together were really critical for us as we started to determine how to build this new campaign and use those assets in a memorable and distinct way.
We also had evolved our design system, and the use of distinct brand assets became extremely important. That's when we, landed on the cube as a distinct brand asset device to anchor us into memory.
So we partnered with LinkedIn and the B2B Institute for some new measurements that are helping us understand more about reach and effectiveness and our evenness of our buy. I think attention, especially from a brand perspective, is something that's not talked about a lot. When we are looking at that mental mind share, having that attention and that reach is what is really helpful to achieve that metric. Since the launch of this campaign, by focusing more on awareness, we've increased the exposure of 9 million new members to the SAS brand, and that's huge in just a 6-month time period.
When we made the investment in brand, we knew we were going to need to have data and evidence to show the impact that brand awareness was having. We looked at the performance of the brand campaign in and of itself, and then what is the knock-on effect that that brand campaign is having. So this is where our partnership with LinkedIn was really strong. We were able to demonstrate how our brand campaign was helping our talent acquisition efforts, was helping our sales teams outreach to new clients, and it was lifting the performance of our overall marketing campaigns, both brand and demand.
It's a journey, I think, for all of us, and my heart goes out to all brand marketers, anywhere who is tasked with creating future memories that then demand teams can convert today. We've seen incredible lifts to our marketing efforts when brand and demand teams are working together, are sharing audience pools, are coordinated across their efforts when the messaging foundation is in place. What we loved in our conversations with the B2B Institute over the last few years was the notion of brand performance. So we really like the idea of brand performance and demand performance equals marketing performance for the benefit of economic outcomes for a company.
My recommendation for anybody starting on this journey would be hold strong on your commitment to brand investment. You will be challenged on it throughout the process. So in order to help with that, what you need to do is make sure that your brand strategy is very well aligned to your company's long-term goals. Make sure you're investing in creativity. I talk to the team a lot about how do we compete on creativity, particularly in a market like ours, which can be a sea of sameness. So really understand your distinctive capabilities and put creative out there that's compelling. You've got to invest in the activation of that creative once you have it. So make sure you've outlined that investment and can talk about the ROI of that investment back to your key stakeholders. And lastly, find great partners to work with along the way. And certainly LinkedIn B2B Institute is one of those great partners that we've worked with.